Good evening, everyone. This is delicious Don Juan, the Texas treat, and you are listening to the Countdown City WrestleCast.
What's up, heels and baby faces? Welcome to another episode of the Countdown City WrestleCast. I'm your host, JC. Joining me this week is Tommy.
You guys only knew what's said before the camera comes on. If you guys knew what I did. Anyway, hello.
Hashtag avoid cancel culture. And we got...
What's up? I'm Mike, and I am looking forward to 2022 Electric Boogaloo Spring Break Slam coming next week, which is with actual spring break, and we get to see AEW. So,
yes.
Trying to get through these next couple days.
We are almost there, guys. We're almost there. Yes, we're going to spend some time talking about that as well towards the end of this episode. Today, we're going to be recapping ImpactSacrifice and AEW Revolution. A lot went on in these shows, setting up what's going on in the future, and we're going to spend some time, like I said, talking about next week's St. Patrick's Day Slam, Dynamite and Rampage, which we will be attending, which is, I think this is like the first wrestling show that we're attending as a full WrestleCast since we actually started this. Like, shit's gone down since then. So
since we started,
I think the last thing we were all at was WrestleMania 32, and that was way before
Rumble.
we did this.
Rumble, the Rumble the next year.
Yeah. Rumble, yeah.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah.
2017.
Yeah, I was thinking about that too, but yeah, it was the Rumble here in
Yeah,
town.
you're totally right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The one where they had the golf carts to take the
Yes.
big guys down to the ring that they didn't show on
No.
TV. Yeah. So
That we were laughing at the whole time because, wait, what the hell?
the highlight of that was still Ty Dillinger coming in at number 10. So
It
the crowd getting hyped for
absolutely.
that. So guys, let's jump into it. I got to see Sacrifice. What about y'all? Did y'all get to see it or results?
I didn't see Sacrifice,
Okay.
unfortunately. I just didn't have the results.
I didn't, and then after I heard one of the results, I refused to watch it later. That's my stance.
Oh, I'm going to watch
Mike
it later.
is talking about the influence. There was a good some surprising title changes.
Influence. I'm sorry, were Christopher Daniels and SCU in this match, basically?
No, that's the bad influence.
Yes.
Whatever. It's a bad result. That's all
I
I'm
knew
going
he was
to say.
going to get mad.
The influence defeating the inspiration. Quite surprising, but there was a little bit of help they have with Caleb with a K. Kind of snuck in. Wasn't
Told you guys.
Yes.
I told you to keep it. Coming for you, Caleb.
Yep.
Coming for you.
Yeah.
Do the spring break hit. I can't do it right now.
So, yeah, that one was pretty surprising. The fans there in attendance did not... I mean, easy heat on the influence, right? So, you know, I mean,
True.
good stuff with that. Matches, though, I mean, for me, having seen it, some title changes we had talked about, too. Tasha Steelz defeated Mickie James. This was set up beautifully, honestly, because right before this match was Deonna Purrazzo's Open Challenge. So if you guys aren't familiar with this, I'm sure some of you, if you haven't seen it yet, she gets an Open Challenge. It happened to be Chelsea Green this time. She holds up both belts. Her opponent picks which one they want to challenge for. And it ended up being for the Ring of Honor Women's World Championship. Deonna Purrazzo won by submission, but then ended up beating down on Chelsea Green. So Mickie came down to try and make the save, and was just really heavily concerned about Chelsea Green, her friend, and Tasha Steelz got the jump on her. And thanks to a little bit of help also from Savannah Evans, she got the pin. So
Another scary big girl.
Yeah, and this is I mean, I don't think this is the last we're gonna see of Tasha Steelz and Mickie James. I wouldn't be surprised if we get a rematch at Rebellion. But congrats to Tasha Steelz, the first Afro-Latina to win the Knockouts World Championship. Pretty awesome. So
Nice.
I'm really happy for her. Like she's doing her own thing.
Couldn't have done it 2 weeks earlier. Come on.
Match of the night for me personally was Jay White against Alex Shelley. That is everything we thought it would be and more. So, go ahead, Tom.
I was going to say, I am so not surprised to hear that because Alex Shelley wrestles like a perfect match all the time. He just doesn't get enough credit. I don't think. I'm speaking for myself. I don't think I've ever given Alex Shelley enough credit. The wrestler he is, but White. Is there a guy we could name who had a faster meteoric rise the past 3 or 4 years than him? I mean, he went from New Japan young lion to just uber heel of this era. MJF excluded.
I will throw a name that may be about to do that, and that's Wardlow. But yeah, I get what you're saying.
Wardlow, man, he's already got the crowd behind him easy. Like, I forget what show it was where it was his hometown. It was like after the cameras. Well, after the show started broadcasting, they were recording, and he came out to he said he always dreamed of being able to say goodbye to the fans of his hometown. And dude, out the building, just he was so freaking over.
Yeah.
So he's one of the guys he is definitely next up. We're seeing both kids for the show.
What's up?
It's bedtime, so they're coming to stay tonight. So,
Night.
shout out to my daughter. Her new team got their first win tonight. So, congratulations.
Nice.
Daddy,
what clock is it?
I don't know. What's your new one? Go ahead.
Come on, guys.
Kids are great.
It's just to learn to read.
Yeah. Let's see. The clock teaches them how to tell time.
It's the clock because it's time for pain.
We'll look at
We're on a wrestling podcast. So I think we should throw
Put
that
it on
in.
Comes the
bedtime.
pain.
Okay, let me turn it on.
Okay, you don't need to turn it on. Great.
See,
Like-
the stop.
It's time to sleep. That's right. It's time to sleep.
This is like the fans hijacking Raw. This is the kids just taking
Good
over.
night, Jay.
That's the...
Okay, yeah.
Oh wait, do we have to pay for
I
that
don't know,
music?
but I better turn
I don't
want to
get
fall
demonetized.
asleep in the middle of the show if this is playing. So, I mean,
If your son demonetized our video now,
it's royalty free.
Kids,
guys.
bloopers I missed for this show.
Kids, let me tell you. Yeah, so Jay White, Jack Shelley, Jay White's faster rising. Wardlow, I'm with you on that. The way the crowd responded to him.
For sure, yeah.
I get a lot of, we'll talk about it later, but the promo we saw on Dynamite tonight, I get a lot of Hangman Page vibes. Like, they're going to build that up. Maybe take a couple years kind of thing.
I just, we'll talk, like I said, we'll talk about when we get there. Never mind, sorry.
Back to Sacrifice, though. Violent by Design over the Good Brothers.
I
was pleasantly surprised by this. Very much so.
I'm good with it because now we can get a full-on Bullet Club thing without the titles being the focal point, which I wouldn't have minded that, but I feel like it's going to be better without them.
Yeah.
About the tag belts. Now they can just fight, And besides, Violent by Design, everyone knows how much I think Eric Young is another underappreciated talent, and another stable where he leads a group of people as crazy as him, Joe Doring. Specifically Joe Doring.
I feel like he's very underrated as a stable leader too, Eric Young.
Yeah, for sure. Because Sanity was fantastic. They would have been great had they been allowed to be. Sanity was a great stable. They were one of my favorites coming out of NXT. They were
best version of Nikki Cross too.
Yes,
for sure, easily.
They got the right guy there, but I mean, Violent by Design though, that's going to be good. I really hope these guys have and it's probably going to be a Freebird rule, like any two of the three.
Yeah, I think the first time they had them before Dino joined, when it was just them, I think with Rhino was in it. I think Rhino was in the group then. I think they had the Freebird rule because I think Eric Young got injured at some point, so that's when Doring and Rhino started defending them because Eric couldn't.
All right, some other results before we get into the main event. I'll just call out real quickly here. Trey Miguel successfully defending the X Division title against Jake Something. Eddie Edwards defeated Rhino. Honor No More. Interested to see how that's going to be part of the whole Ring of Honor setup too as well.
I have so many questions.
Yeah. Jonah defeated PCO. Very hard hitting match. Mike, I know you would have appreciated that.
I have seen some clips of that.
Yeah, it's really good.
Did you send me, or did you the one who just put the clip of Big E from his famous saying?
It wasn't me, no.
Okay, that is someone else, but it was just big sweaty men slapping meat.
Men slapping meat.
Main event, Moose defeated Heath. It went about as you might have expected. Heath got some offense in there here and there, but it was expecting Moose to win. But Josh Alexander, we'd worried about this. We wondered about it with the visa issues. The way they did this storyline too was great. He's like, they made me go home to Toronto. That's like 10 minutes. You know, the Anthem headquarters like 10 minutes from my house, and then that was his promo. I re-up for multi-year. Oh, and here's my rematch signed. I'll see you at Rebellion. So, quick question, gut feeling right now: does Alexander get the title from Moose at Rebellion?
As long as his wife and kid do not show up.
I was just gonna say.
As long as he leaves his family the freak at home.
I want to say this is a storyline you save to the Big Show, but I don't know. Like, I'm going to say no with shenanigans. I think.
But I feel like they've been trying to build up Rebellion as their next big show, as like one of their bigger ones. That's what I feel like they've been doing the past couple of years, and that's why I'm saying yes to continue that trend. Rebellion is the can't-miss.
I'm not going to be mad at all, obviously, if he does. I just wonder if they're going to... I mean, they literally just did it with Mickie James. Or with Tasha Steelz for Mickie James, but...
Yeah.
I mean, what if he beats Moose and then Jonah shows up and challenges Josh Alexander immediately afterwards?
Are you trying to make it 6 to midnight, Tommy? That's what you're doing.
Throw it out there.
All right, so as far as our pick results went, Mike and I went 2-3 on the matches that we picked for Sacrifice, and Tommy went 3-2. Way to go, Tommy!
And this is the one time I knew I almost beat y'all because I remember picking Tasha Steelz,
right.
And I remember thinking I was like, I got one right that no one else got.
That ended up being the difference there too. So
yeah.
All right, WrestleCast rating for this show is 0-5, 5 WrestleMania 17, 0 being December, Dismember. Are you guys at all? I don't know if you guys are all comfortable making a rating, or you can just submit one later, but or be just
I'll
me.
submit one later.
Okay.
I'm gonna try. I'm gonna hopefully get. Probably after the first of next month. You guys know why. I hopefully get Impact Plus soon, so then I'll go back and check it out.
Yeah, definitely worth it too. Getting Impact Plus, there's a lot to go on there. Pretty easy to log into. And they do have a 24/7 feed as well, which I believe is just their Twitch feed, if I'm not mistaken. So you have that available as well. So as far as my rating on it, I'm going to give this a 4. Really good show, hands down. The Alex Shelley, Jay White match was really good. You know, it was a pretty decent show when you consider this was only a 2-week turnaround from their previous event. They really promoted this, booked it in 2 weeks, but it did what it was supposed to do. It gave you some matches, some surprising title changes, and it set up going forward into Rebellion. So 4.00 for me.
Easy to do that math.
Yeah, easy to do that math. So.
Whoa, slow it down there.
Mike's almost on spring break. He doesn't want to talk match too much.
Yeah, seriously.
So, all right. Well, with that, we're going to move from the Impact side of things onto AEW Revolution.
Boy,
boy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
buddy.
So, I want to address one thing that I thought was an interesting... Well, you know what? I'll save that for my 1 minute warning. Never mind.
Okay.
Yeah. First off, first impressions of the show, likes, dislikes. Mike, we saw 3/4 of it together because then you had to go home and get ready for work the next day. So.
Yeah, when they went back to a Sunday, I was like, oh no.
Yeah.
I was able to find those last 2 matches to kind of finish it off and stuff. But I likes. I mean, let me just go through a list. I mean,
I was about to say likes.
Eddie Kingston getting his moment. The dislikes, at least at the moment, of course, the Thunder Rosa Britt Baker results.
Yeah.
Just the result.
Yes. Wardlow finally go. Well, I was a little shocked he won, but then it made more sense given what happened later.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be a little bit different. What's that?
I was gonna say. I feel like he. After seeing it, I was like, yeah, he kind of should have.
Right.
To be fair to Keith and everybody else, Wardlow really has been the.
Yeah. No.
He's been the. I think the unsung workhorse, really. I mean, he does the powerbomb Cynthia a lot, but that's a lot to do multiple powerbombs in a row. Dude has been pretty consistent. Like
they've done it to some bigger guys in more recent matches. So
And he's been pretty consistent. You know, the whole I feel like AEW is about building up a lot of new guys, and they've been doing that with him quietly for a while.
yeah.
And that was the right time to pull that trigger. So I think that was the right result.
And then one more thing, let me just say, William Regal.
Oh,
Yeah. Or wait, is he Steven Regal now? I don't know.
They said William Regal on the show.
no, it's William
Okay.
Regal.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're letting him dream.
Well, because on Dynamite, he reunited with Tony Schiavone in a ring on TBS or on this station for the first time, he said, in 29 years, which is crazy. So,
Amazing,
Insane
right?
to me.
So it was good to see him. I think people were speculating if he was going to be in AEW, and as soon as he showed up, there was a tweet. William Regal is all elite, So
I messaged a friend. I said, "How come William Regal just walking out during the pay-per-view was better than 3 hours of Raw? He didn't even do anything until he slapped Moxley and then slapped."
I feel like
But
he may
that
have
was better
gotten
than
the
3 hours
biggest
of Raw.
pop of the night.
yeah,
Like the crowd was
I
hot
think
for
he
him.
did.
it definitely. That was the big surprise, and he's probably the only guy that can slap Moxley and Danielson within a minute of each other and get away with it. So,
No. You mentioned something about your 1 minute warning. I assume it's not going to be about this, but is it going to be? It's not going to be related to Regal at all,
no,
right?
it's not going to be related to Regal at all.
Okay.
Yeah, so.
Because I've kind of been thinking about something, and I've mentioned this before, and Regal's going to play into it too. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah. What stood out to me personally, match of the night is obviously CM Punk and MJF. The build up for that, the dog collar, it was brutal. Punk's presser afterward, he was so emotional about it. Like,
Yeah.
It was pretty cool.
His passion in wrestling, you really know it's back. You really know it's back. And the funny part is the first question was from Izzy, famous fan Izzy, who's now just some media stuff. Like, smart question. Like, how do you feel about the match like this where it takes years off your life? And he's like, hopefully this is the last one I ever do. Which is a great answer. So
I don't blame him.
Yeah.
I don't blame him. I really don't.
But when the entrances were made, you knew this was going to be something special. MJF teasing Cult's personality. But I got to hear Tommy's reaction. How much of a throwback was this for you? AFI plays, and here comes those old white shorts, the X jacket, everything. So
I would be absolutely lying if I said I didn't shed a tear, dude. When I heard the slow drum beat, I was like, they are not playing this song. And then it was bad that they were playing the song because I was already an emotional mess. When he came out, and I mean, when he came out, I mean, it's full on Second City Saint. All he was missing was the blonde hair that he had back in those days. And I was like, full Second City Saint, the jacket, such a CM Punk mark back in the day. I looked for that jacket, and I was gonna buy X's of my own to put on the back, but I never could find that jacket. I was gonna buy the jacket. I was gonna buy tape, put it over my hands, and I was just gonna cosplay as CM Punk one day for no reason. I was like, I wasn't gonna go anywhere to do anything. I was gonna do it. And when I saw him do that, I was like, and then when Roberts announced him as the Second City Saint, I was just like, dude, this. It made me immediately want to go back and watch like all those old matches, him and Jimmy Ray, him and Christopher Daniels and Samoa Joe, which I will still do. I'm not saying that there's a possibility of that not happening because I literally need no provocation. So someone could say, hey, Ring of Honor, you know what I should watch? Joe versus Punk 2 because I have an hour to kill and that's how I'm going to do it.
Tommy, quick question. What theme do you pop more for? That theme he came out with or Kaze ni Nare for Minoru Suzuki?
Son of a bitch, that's a good one. Oh, I thought you were going to ask me another song altogether. Ooh.
Good question. Good question.
I would on a personal level probably have to say Miseria Canteria because that's probably the song I heart.
Mm.
And that was always the one song I would just dream of being in the ROH. That was one of the reasons I wanted to be at a ROH live show. Was the barricades as that song was playing.
Yeah.
Because a little trivia about me. When I was younger, when I first got my first iPod, there were like about 5 songs I listened to the most. There was one from Final Fantasy VIII game that Angela Aki covered called Eyes on Me.
Eyes on Me.
Bring Me to Life by Evanescence. Raid because I was kind of emo, even though I wasn't really. I was around too much family to ever be that emo. But absolutely another was if it wasn't in my top 5, it was in my top 10 easy. As most of them listed was Miseria Cantaria because I would always just imagine being an ROH show with CM Punk coming out. Like it was one of the songs I played on the bus all the time on the way home, in my car when I was going somewhere. It was like that's probably why. With no offense to Kazanina Red because I would blast that in a minute. For no reason, and drive and have all the cars around me wondering what the hell is that guy listening to? He's black, first of all, but definitely the AFI song because it was of the interest for ROH's low budget production. There's no offense, they just didn't have a Titantron. Of course they didn't. Right. I thought it was one of the coolest entrances ever because they would shut off all the lights. And the strobe lights would hit with the beat of the beginning, and a single light would be on Punk whenever he came out, and so I always thought that was really cool. I always thought that was clever ways of production was really cool.
Yeah,
not so much to the entrance, but also the timing of it. It was right after they had announced that Tony Khan's purchased Ring of Honor. He owns all the library now, and Punk said as much in his presser. Also,
I was gonna say,
very happy that library is in good hands now. He's very proud of the work he did there.
It's got to mean a lot to all those guys who were there. Joe, Davey Richards, Eddie Edwards, Christopher Danielson. It's because all those matches, they were just gonna go away especially if Vince got a hold of it, and it's like just because a lot of people didn't watch it doesn't mean they weren't great. I will still defend this to anyone. One of the ever Samoa Joe versus Kenta Kobashi. And that happened at ROH. And that match would have just probably disappeared. Vince had got a hold of it. And I'm like, no, every wrestling fan should at least once watch that match.
Yes.
Even if you don't like it, you're wrong. If you don't, but even if you don't like it, let me clear this up real quick. You're wrong. It's not a good match. You're wrong. That's the one universal thing I will fight anybody about. If you don't like that match, if you think it's a bad match, you're wrong. Pure and simple. But it's one of the matches where I was like, that fans need to see it. Fans need to see it. Even if Samoa Joe, I've always said this about Joe. If he never steps in the ring again, as a fan, I can't ask for more because that one match to me was like I could never ask Joe to do another match because he's given me some of the best ones ever. Not just that one, with plenty.
See other things that might have stood out too. Well, first of all, Punk MJF was brutal. If I haven't mentioned already, so yeah.
It was a beautiful disaster.
Yeah.
And I gotta admit, Wardlow as a character has also grown on me because him searching for the ring was hilarious, and then he said, "Oh,
he's got really good
I had
facial,
it the whole time."
Not bad, yeah.
I like it when they have the big guys show character because I get it, they gotta be monsters and everything. But we can show they have it's kind of like when Big E went from power lifter musclehead guy to literally the funniest dude in wrestling. I love that. Same with Miro actually. When Miro got to cut loose as Rusev, I thought that was hilarious. Which is why Rusev Day should easily still be going on right now, and that is the biggest drop ball Vince has had since Cesaro.
Yeah, and Wardlow, you've seen it too over the past couple months, where when the Pinnacle was beating someone up or. MJF was talking. He was always in the corner, just kind of had that face, really? All right, I'm getting paid. I'm just gonna sit here. But he always kind of had it. Okay. So it's been, and then the stuff with him and Sean Spears. The stuff where Sean Spears comes out with him and then has to nail someone with the chair. That stuff's kind of been going on. All that, all the stuff with that too. And so, I think Wardlow's, about to get a rocket strap. They may slow burn it. But again, as much as people are why is AEW signing all these older people? They are taking a lot of their stars and taking their time to build them up. They talked about the 4 pillars. I think we talked about this, JC, when we were watching the show.
Yeah.
It's really more than 4 pillars, let's be honest. I know 4 pillars just makes sense because that's what it is. But it's the 4 they talk about. It is Britt Baker, Sammy, MJF, Jungle Boy,
Darby Allin.
Darby Allin, sorry. But now you're throwing Wardlow in there. You're throwing some of these other guys. And I know Thunder Rosa, like you said, is technically not like I guess a homegrown per se, but she's becoming one of their one of their top faces. As much as they've signed all these other people, and they've also been growing up, like you said, a lot of their younger talent. And even guys like Hangman, I know he's been in ROH and other stuff, but I feel like he's another one that he's really making his name here in AEW, so...
Definitely.
Yeah, I think they're doing a good job of mixing it. Now, again, their talent's getting pretty big. Interesting to see how they use ROH with multiple rosters or possibility of that, but...
you know what's funny to me? You know what's funny to me about the whole show? It's like the main event of Paige and Cole was absolutely fantastic, but it's just like the show was so good, it's almost easy to overlook that match because the whole show was good. It's like there was and I kind of love that fact, but I was like, it's like there was nothing wrong with that match. It's just like there was so much on the show that was so great. It was like the main event, as perfect as it was, just
you're almost tired by the end of that just because. You had a dog collar match. We haven't even talked about Danielson versus Mox. We haven't talked about the crazy 6-man right before. Like,
yeah, I did not expect Sting to make that move.
Sting needs to stop because I am literally half his age and I am offended.
I mean,
Sting needs to be canceled.
A little bit of Darby Allin's rubbing off on the guy, I guess. I don't know. So.
Absolutely.
On one end, you got old people who are like Taker and Goldberg almost killing each other, and then Sting's just like YOLO, and then just jumping.
It's like, okay, Sammy Guevara does Spanish Fly off the ramp through tables. Darby Allin's done all these crazy jumps. Sting's like, fine, I guess I'll do this. It's just that. But hey, if you do it once in a while, that makes it that much special, I guess. So yeah.
I want to think I see Double Andrade. Ain't this about a bitch?
And the funny thing is, you watch it. I mean, Andrade gets up on the table because he's getting into position, but it almost looks like he's just like rolling onto the table to like take a break because like they were fighting and stuff. He's just like, rolls up onto it, and then it's like, oh crap.
That's so
he's like, let me catch my breath. Huh? What's that 62-year-old?
Let me catch a Sting.
Old painted face guy doing up there? Sting needs to be stopped. I'm sorry because at this point it's just ridiculous.
I mean, look, he does just enough to get what he needs to get done, and then that's it. I mean, look at him tonight. Matt Hardy getting kicked out of who was AHFO, which is now AFO at this point.
I guess so. Right?
And
it's gonna be Los Ingobernables something by the end of this week. I swear to God.
Yes, Los Ingobernables de Andrade. But yeah, Sting and Darby can make the save. Jeff Hardy comes out. But apparently his theme is royalty free, as we were discussing. So good on him, right? Recognizable. I've never seen Tina jump almost as high as she did in a long time. As soon as she heard Jeff's music, so.
No, sorry.
But yeah, but that's the thing. Sting does just enough, makes the appearance, does part of the storyline, and saves it for the pay-per-view matches. Yeah.
Something. They can use Los Ingobernables, Los Pasión Ingobernables because they own ROH now.
That was an ROH theme.
Is that where it originated?
Yeah, that's where it originated. Roosh, when he broke away from, I think, CMLL. Mm-hmm. They couldn't use Los Ingobernables anymore, so he used LFI, Los Facciones Ingobernables. They can use that now.
Nice.
Interesting.
Oh my God, Roosh can show up at that.
Well, I don't know what Roosh has been up to since ROH semi-folded, I guess you can say, but. And interesting too if you jump on the AEW train of things, with Andrade and whatnot.
Andrade.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say nothing negative.
One quick thing before we move on, and this is not about Revolution. This was about tonight because we're talking about the Jeff Hardy thing. Mm-hmm. Guys, if you haven't seen the clip, please watch it because in the ring, Matt, Sting, and Darby are getting beaten up by AFO now. And Hardy's music hits the old Hardy's theme. You would think he would rush down to save his brother, and he kind of does. But Jeff can't help and do his dancing real quick halfway down the ramp, and then he runs into the ring. And I'm sorry, it was just too funny. It's like when you have that video we sent where you have to wait for your theme before you go save your partner in wrestling.
Here's what I'll say. You do you, Jeff. You do you.
I mean, he always has, hasn't he?
Yeah,
That's not...
here's why. You know what? If for WWE fucked up your release, thinking you were still on drugs, there's a concussion issue. But you know what? Here's what you say. If that was your way of throwing a middle finger at WWE without actually doing it on TV, like, yeah, here I am, whatever, I'm making a save. Screw you guys, right? You do you. That being said, it's not the first time that's happened when someone's supposed to be making a save.
True.
Y'all remember Rhea Ripley?
Yes.
On NXT? When Charlotte's one of her friends and her music's hit, she's still got to wait for the stomp before she runs down, and Charlotte's getting pissed off. You know?
And then there was also the Beth Phoenix was it the Rumble?
I think so.
When she came to, like, help Edge or something? I forgot what it was. But she's waiting there at the top of the ramp. She has to wait for the music to hit.
It's supposed to be playing, and it hit a technical issue, you know. And hell, I wouldn't even mind it if Bryan Danielson was, you know, or if he was Daniel Bryan, still then was going to make a save, still had thrown a few yes chants, right? But the point is, Jeff, you do you, bro. You deserve it. You're making a debut. Let me dance a little bit before I go save my brother. And you still had a great moment. That's what people are going to remember, the fact that he's in AEW. And
I just want to see the day him and Darby tag and they have to do each other's face paint. That's all. Yeah. That's literally all I'm looking for at this point.
One final thing, outside of the crowd chanting "Eat shit, Max" during the dog collar match, I have to say the best chance of the night was when the main event started, and all you heard was "Let's go, Adam."
Let's go, Adam. That was
"Let's go, Adam." Adam sucks, but with "Let's go, Adam," clap, and Paige is looking at Cole like they're talking about me, and I almost expected them to get in an argument face to face. They're talking about me. They're talking about me, right? But in
my mind, I don't think they wanted to, but they couldn't help. They knew if they did, they were going to start laughing. So it's like, let's just wrestle because we're going to crack up any second.
And like I said, they said, "Let's go, Adam." Adam sucks, and the crowd, it's great because you don't even care who they're talking about.
So I mean, so I think it was Evil Uno because a bunch of people made the same tweet basically. Mm-hmm. You know, I think Adam's going to win this match, but I think it was Evil Uno who clarified. I'm sorry, I meant the Adam that used to be in Bullet Club.
That's awesome!
And I was like, God dang it! You just went one more step and it was perfect. I love it.
Evil Uno on Twitter, man, his Twitter game
really
is like
good.
Untouchable.
Oh
you know what one of my favorite things is in all of AEW is the unbridled hatred Tony Schiavone and Jim Ross have for MJF. They don't give a damn. They give 0 Fs about who doesn't know how biased they are against this man. I have never heard such amazing hatred from announcers in a long time, and they both earn the right, and I get where they're coming from because I agree. But it's just like they don't even try. I'm like, damn, you guys.
Tony also,
like, we don't even give a shit.
Tony also throws it at Adam Cole because
he does it a lot of times, yeah.
Because of his friendship with Britt Baker.
Yeah.
But you like it. You like to see that though. You know, it's fun. It kind of adds to it.
It's hilarious.
Yeah, it's great.
It's absolutely fantastic. I just love it. They just like they say like whenever Schiavone says hit him again, I just like lose it. I'm like, damn, Tony.
Now there are probably a couple of the matches we'll talk about in a little bit. One of which is Britt Baker and Thunder Rosa. We're going to talk about that because that does kind of lead into what happened on Dynamite tonight. And I will say this finally before we wrap up. It was great to see Red Dragon as a tag team again. Just so great. Even
and to go by the Red Dragon name, which is all I wanted.
Pretty awesome. Just all the solid show, hands down. And then we'll talk a bit about the ladder match as well when we get to Dynamite. So that being said, let's talk about how we did on our picks. Mike went 3-4, and then Tommy and I went 4-3 for AEW Revolution. So Tommy basically won the weekend, if you will.
Yeah, it seems
7-5.
Finally! Finally!
Hard to pick though. We're either barely above 500 or we're just below it, so it's close.
I mean, dude, you know how long it's been since I won a weekend on this show? I don't think I ever have.
I don't think even when New Japan was having shows.
Oh, I don't know. I know. One time you won a New Japan weekend, and I was furious. No, I wasn't really.
Tommy canceled his New Japan World subscription after that too. So
he specifically put in the reason when they asked why did you cancel? And he was like,
I can't pick
because Mike outpicked me.
Yeah,
and that's just because I hate that guy.
Yes, and you have to type like this, by the way.
All right.
Trying to write it feels like that's what I'm doing. How do you spell the word "the"? What is keys?
So, Mike, what is your WrestleCast rating for AEW Revolution?
It's pretty high. I mean, I think I'm gonna go 4.75. Like, I don't know if I can go full 5 again. But it was a good show, and I mean, all jokes aside, the Thunder Rosa match, Brit match was good, and I know we'll talk about it in a minute. But even though I wasn't happy with the result, storyline wise, I think it'll play out fine. But I mean, I'm stopping to think about things that we didn't even get to cover because there was so much going on. Like I said briefly, I mentioned the Eddie Jericho match at the beginning. Eddie finally got his big win on a show against
with the submission too, the stretch ball.
Yeah. Yes.
Right. The triple threat tag match we just briefly touched on, but that was amazing. Again, Moxley and Danielson. It was just like all the way across, and like you said, the main event, which almost like an afterthought, but Adam Page on putting amazing matches on, and Red Dragon did try to interfere, and Dark Order came out to knock him out, and then they may start some stuff because Adam Cole came out to challenge Page tonight. They're going to have a 6-man tag at St. Patrick's Day Bash. It's Adam Cole and 2 of his friends, which I missed later. I think he might have actually, again, picked Red Dragon instead of Young Bucks. Continue that story. And Paige walks into the Dark Order backstage, and they're like, "Hey, maybe we'll switch it up again." And of course, Johnny Hunky's like, "Maybe it'll be Anna and me or something like that." And but then Adam Page was like, "Oh," he's like, "Actually, I ran into Jurassic Express, and it was kind of awkward, so I just said, yeah, y'all can be my partners." And so they're like, "Oh, it's cool," but I think they're starting something there.
Of course.
But all the way across, it was a solid show. I guess I'm just hesitant to give out a 5 because I feel like they're going to put that one show on again, but, that's just me. So
yeah. Do you feel, and I say this before I give my rating because I almost feel like my standards for AEW pay-per-views are so much higher now than they have been because they keep setting the bar high. This one's a 4.5 for me. I nothing against like anything on there. The TBS championship match was okay. It wasn't anything spectacular. It didn't stand out to me. Let's see. The pre-show was pretty good. House of Black. I'm not
going to include the pre-show.
Yeah, I'm not going to include the pre-show, but there's just things like that. Eddie Kingston moment was great. The ladder match was good. Had some good spots. It was just like God. I know it was 17 minutes long, but I feel like I wanted more. But that says me how good it was. But I don't know. I just feel like it wasn't it wasn't a spectacular thing. Like there's some memorable moments, but when I compare it to like All Out, what was the paper at the end of the year? Full Gear, Double or Nothing of last year. It's not at that level, So 4.5 for me. Just my thought on it too. Tommy, what about you?
I'm going with Mike, 4.75. I was because I don't want to give it the full 5 either. But at the same time, it's like I say with the New Japan shows. Even if nothing spectacular happens, how was the wrestling? To me, it had a combination of really good moments, and like some of the wrestling was just some of the best I've seen. And again, the triple threat tag match, the ladder match, the Page and Cole. I almost said Adam for one of them, and I was like, wait, that's both of them again. So, and the dog, and you know what? The reason I had to stop us from giving it a 5 because the second I heard Miseria Cantidea, it was going to be a 5 regardless of what happened during the whole damn show. And I was like, nope, it can't be a 5 because of the song. I was like, and then the other side of myself said, yes, it can. And I almost listened to that side, but I was like, no, I'm not giving it a 5 just because of the song. I want to, but I'm not gonna.
So our overall rating 4.67. Pretty good AEW. I mean, they continue to bring it. That's just, and they announced Double or Nothing for May 29th back in Vegas. Been trying to get it back in Vegas since the pandemic started, so it's finally going to head that way, and looking forward to seeing that. So now, AEW itself will be in San Antonio next week for Dynamite and Rampage, filming it on Wednesday. We're going to be there, but this has also been set up as the St. Patrick's Day Slam, which is the day before St. Patrick's Day this year. Two big things coming out of Revolution was Wardlow having won the Face of the Revolution ladder match, which was pretty insane. Some great spots in it. I know we all had said Keith Lee, but now that you see Wardlow win, it's like, all right, this could be interesting.
Yeah.
He was going to face the winner of what was the main event tonight on Dynamite, Sammy Guevara or Scorpio Sky for the TNT Championship, which Scorpio Sky won. So we're going to get to see Scorpio Sky against Wardlow. And then, of course, with Britt Baker retaining her title with a little bit of help again from the outside interference. You know, it's one of those things, but Thunder Rosa took on Layla Hirsch in an elimination match tonight. Thunder Rosa won. She gets a title shot at Britt Baker, and right after they announced a steel cage match in San Antonio. And if that is not the main event of the show, because it better damn will be.
It is.
At least the Dynamite, because I don't know how they're going to do like Rampage and all that. I don't know if they're going to do it afterwards, but it's going to be the Dynamite main event. It has to be.
I fully expect a bunch of signs that say, if Britt Baker wins, we riot in San Antonio.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, this crowd is going to want that title for Thunder Rosa. It is long overdue. This is the 1 year anniversary of their big lights out match at last year's St. Patrick's Day Slam. So, and even then, we don't even know what they're filming for Rampage, what they have filmed. We'll find out that night pretty much. But guys,
and they'll do like Dark Elevation that night too.
Yeah, guys, what are you most looking forward to from this? Just the match itself, the crowd. I mean, Jeff Hardy's debuted. We're gonna see him, CM Punk. What is it you're looking forward to the most coming in for next week? So
probably for me, the crowd. Like
Yeah.
I feel like the San Antonio crowd's going to come unglued.
Hang on, let me get it going again. Okay, go ahead. Sorry, we had technical issues. So, yeah, what are you looking forward to for San Antonio Dynamite next week, Tommy?
I was gonna say usually just the crowd, because I feel like just like with Impact when they were here for Lockdown, just like when Ring of Honor was first here for the very first show they did in San Antonio. I feel like once they get here, you notice the fans love it so much.
Mm-hmm.
Like, at first, people are like, they're probably like, yeah, because like Austin, Dallas, and everything. But when they get to San Antonio, it feels different, because I mean, think about when it comes to Ring of Honor, they go by comparison to the other Texas cities. They came to San Antonio a lot. Mm-hmm. I mean, they would go to Dallas, sure. They would go to Houston, sure. But they made it almost like a point to make it down here every chance they got. If they were anywhere near the South, they were coming to San Antonio, and I feel like that could happen with AEW. It could be like one of those cases where, because I feel like the wrestling crowd in San Antonio has not disappointed me yet. Like even for WWE shows, they tend to show out. But so I feel like we're finally getting, a lot of people have been the pandemic. There's going to be like a ton of like at least RCW fans there, and how loud that crowd can get. So I feel like this is going to be the show that really can, especially if Thunder Rosa wins.
It's gonna be nuts.
Can you imagine the roof on the Freeman just jumping off like at least an easy 2 feet when she went, but from the noise when she wins?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Freeman, and for those that are not in the San Antonio and aren't familiar, the Freeman Coliseum only seats about 10,000. But man, does it get loud. It really gets loud there,
quickly,
especially for wrestling. I remember going to many an Iguanas game there, and it was always so much fun and so loud for those. So, but yeah, the Freeman, I'm very happy to see wrestling back in the Freeman. This is where it belongs in this city. Screw the AT&T Center and the Alamo Dome. Give me wrestling in the Freeman any day of the week. So, Mike, what about you? What's standing out for you?
Yeah, I mean the crowd, definitely the cage match, obviously. AEW has been pretty good this last year when they got back onto the road about highlighting people when they get to their hometowns. Kind of doing the opposite of what WWE had started doing, where you usually lose in your hometown. And I'm not saying it's 100%.
Rule they have to follow.
Unless you're Mansoor. Yeah, but go ahead.
Well, when you got enough money, never mind. And again, I'm not saying it's 100%. They could still throw screwballs, but they've also been pretty good about keeping it simple and not overbooking things. So, I'm looking forward to that, but also I'm looking forward to some of the people that we haven't seen. Like, I don't think I've ever seen Punk in person, so I don't care if he has a match or not. I hope he at least comes out at some point during the show. Danielson, we saw him, I guess, at the Rumble and at Mania. Wait, was he back by then? Rumble.
I think he was back by then.
He was
But not
back
32.
32.
It's too no.
No,
but
I want to say
Rumble,
he was. Right? No, he wasn't back then. Rumble, he wasn't back by then either.
Well, then never mind.
Yeah,
You're right. You
I
will.
mean, honestly,
Then I haven't seen him since ACW.
exactly.
So yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
So it's been a while. But, William Regal, I know they were just out this past week, and a lot of times they'll kind of showcase people one week, and then you don't see them the next. But I hope they at least come out. Just looking for a lot of those names they've signed that we haven't really seen. Keith Lee would be cool. He's probably going to get a huge hometown pop.
Ricky Starks, so we kind of claim him.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he will.
I think
We'll boo the rest of Team Taz, but we'll cheer him.
I haven't seen Bryan Danielson since ACW. I did see Daniel Bryan once in Raw that we were at. And funny, it was when he was in his no phase. And a friend of mine was sitting front row and he started yelling no in his face. My friend's yelling yes. It was back and forth as they went to commercial, which is pretty hilarious. What else? I did see CM Punk live in WWE. He was WWE champion at the time. It was within that 434 run. And that was Shawn Michaels Appreciation Night in San Antonio, which I remember. And
Oh, you know what? I completely forgot about that. You're right.
that stands out to me a lot because after the show went off the air and they were starting, they'd set up bringing the Shawn Michaels Appreciation thing for San Antonio, Punk kind of broke character a bit and just broke with went a little off script for it and just gave his own personal appreciation for Shawn Michaels, saying, he was one of his influences in getting into wrestling. So, and he wanted to share that a little bit too, and that was pretty cool to hear from Punk himself, just to break it a little bit and see how much he appreciated HBK. Then of course they did the rest of the appreciation, Vince McMahon, Undertaker, Triple H, all that stuff. So, but yeah, seeing them in this capacity, in this smaller setting, I'm excited for. I never got to see Punk on the Indies. I'm not saying AEW's indie, but this is going to be a very indie crowd for the most part. But it's going to be
sure.
Yeah. You said it, San Antonio. Once a company comes through here, they can't wait to come back. Raw during the Monday Night Wars era was here twice a year at least, right, Mike? Freeman here, the Rumble's here every 10 years. It feels like. WCW only came here twice, maybe 3 times.
Yeah, but they hit the Alamo Dome when they did.
Yeah, they got the half setting for it. Yeah, the half part of it. And that's the interesting part is because at the time, when WWE was running out of Freeman, they were the only company allowed to run out of Freeman. Now that WWE is running out of AT&T Center, they're the only company allowed to. That's kind of an exclusive contract that supposedly that they have. Ring of Honor came through here. Now they're coming through all the time. NXT for a little while would come through here as well. So AEW, how the crowd shows up, or I'll say one more thing, Impact. I have to mention Gail Kim on this only because when I got to talking with her at
of course you did.
A filming for
totally
Restaurant
related.
Impossible, her husband's show, happened to see her there and took a picture. Big fan. It was like just saying hi to her. It was like, and we were there at lockdown. She's just like her eyes lit up like that's the best crowd I've ever performed under. Was San Antonio lockdown. So fans, San Antonio, show out for AEW. Whether we sell this place out or not, fucking be loud, be passionate, because I guarantee you, if you just do what you do, AEW's be coming around a lot more. They're not going to skip us to go to Cedar Park in Dallas. They're going to want to make sure they come to San Antonio. And
for sure.
That being said, when Jim Ross comes out, I still plan to boo his ass because he's been coming out to OU's fight song, and I fucking all right.
I mean, is there anything more iconic than JC booing JR coming out at wrestling shows? It's been happening for years.
No, because it's also pretty funny.
Mike, were you there when we were booing him in Austin too?
At least one of them, yeah.
We're on the campus, University of Texas. Here comes JR. Is the only time you'll have an entire crowd booing JR at a wrestling show. I fucking guarantee you that. So, but he played it up, which was great. So,
of course,
yeah. So Dynamite, I'm so looking forward to it. Thunder Rosa better when we riot. And do you think they pull the trigger this quickly on Wardlow, or is something going to happen where he doesn't win?
No, see, here's my thought because of the way it was booked. Yeah. He came out, did his promo this week. Nobody from the Pinnacle and touched him. No one came out. You're not going to get 2 days. I don't think you're going to get 2 weeks in a row. So, Scorpio Sky just won it. Paige Van Zant just signed. I think they're going to try and give American Top Team another push, which I don't understand why you need Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky with that group of all things. But I think they're going to
probably help push them.
I guess that's true. I don't know why still, but I think the Pinnacle's going to interfere on this one, allow Scorpio to keep the title and start pushing their storyline. Because in his promo today, Wardlow said, "If you release me from my contract, MJF, I'll wash my hands of you. I won't touch you. I'll move on to other things." And MJF's not going to let that happen. So.
Yeah, which you wonder, is MJF going to do that? Also get involved as well, or do you think they would set up some MJF Wardlow thing, or were they a little? I guess we would protect MJF in this situation, booking wise.
I think it'll be MJF, but it might be through the Pinnacle.
Okay.
Through some of the other.
Yeah, I would say I honestly would, only because I would think he would blame him for losing to Punk in the first place. I would think he would blame him for that.
Yeah.
Also, I'm also laughing because I saw something between FTR and Tully Blanchard.
Oh yeah, they just fired him.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they fired him. Okay.
Yeah, it was real short, and we're just kind of like, oh, so.
Move it along, guys. We're gonna talk constraints. Yeah.
I forget which one's which, but the bald one was cutting a promo about. Look, I don't remember their WWE names, and then they got new names. So
I know.
Anyways, he was cutting a promo talking about how he's doing this for his family, and then what's his name interrupted and was like, Blanchard was like, "No, you guys in AEW, this is about titles. This is about winning." And he was like, "Well, this is about family." So the other guy's like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa," like breaking them up, and he's like, "This is about family, and you're not about it anymore. You're fired." And then they just cut to the next thing, and I was like, "Okay,
all right, guys, good segment. We gotta go. We got
so if you go back and watch this Dynamite, they really stuffed a lot of things into it in the 2 hours. Like there was time left, and I was like, "There's 3 matches." I was like, "But I got it in." So
yeah, I feel like this is kind of their last ditch effort to really promote St. Patrick's Day Slam. They want some high ratings. This is the time of the year when a lot of shows go on some little spring, their own sort of spring break. Right. Kids in colleges are on spring break, so they want to try and pull in the ratings. They might be one of the few live events in town, especially with. Not that it's baseball season yet, but we don't know if we're going to get a baseball season at this point. So, but yeah, they want to take full advantage, and they're promoting the shit out of this. Good for them, because we're lucky to be there. So,
I can't help but again make my comparison of Dragon Gate factions, because I feel like that's what's happening. I mean, with Jericho, now there's something the Jericho Appreciation Society? Okay. And it's like the first thing I thought, I swear to God, Mike, the first thing I thought said, what is this, Dragon Gate? They kick out a few members and now they just change the whole name of the group.
So, if it works in Dragon Gate, it could work here, right?
The thing was, 2.0 and Daniel Garcia came down and then joined with him. So I really thought he was just going to call it Inner Circle 2.0, because you literally have 2.0 in the group.
Yeah.
But I get that Jericho's going for a conceited old veteran who thinks that, but I don't know if I can just keep calling a faction the Jericho Appreciation Society. And Jazz doesn't say any better. Yeah.
Jazz. Yeah.
So I don't know, but they already have a shirt for it apparently. So
yeah,
it's hilarious. But okay, so the reason why I found this even funnier is because I kid you not, 2 days ago I looked it up and Dragon Gate just did this. Pac was a part of Red. They kicked out their old leader, brought in some new guys, and changed their whole name and look. Other guys went to another stable with other guys, and they have this whole. They're called Gold Class now. And the guys from Red are now called Z-Brats. I don't know what that means. I need to research it more. But I was just but the second I saw this tonight, I was like, so Dragon Gate really just influenced the entire wrestling world. Everyone's like, you know what? Screw it. This faction, it's done. Except for the three of us, we're still in this faction, so it's got a new name, a new look, and look, there are 3 other guys we can add to this faction. You 3 guys come over here. That's gonna happen with the Pinnacle too. It's like they're gonna like it's gonna be MJF and Shawn and Tully. They're just gonna bring in like 8 other guys.
They could.
It's gonna be a fun show, guys, and
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to
I can't wait.
being at a live wrestling event again. It's been a long time. So, mask or not wise, I honestly I might just wear my Darby Allin mask just to say I fucking wore it, you know. So,
I mean, I'm asking up all the way, but
yeah.
so.
I
don't trust humanity.
I love it,
Yeah.
but I don't trust it.
Yeah. So hopefully making it there early too, just because to kind of take it all in. It's gonna be a fun show. Looking forward to it.
You know what I almost said today? I was like, oh wait, I forgot to ask for that day off. Then I was like, no, stupid, it's spring break. You're not going to work anyway. It's like, that's right.
Yep. It all works out.
Tommy, you quit a job if they make you work on that.
You're looking pretty sick that day, you know. So
This is.
I'll write you.
And our luck, the camera will be right in our face.
Yeah.
Yeah! And I would absolutely be like, yeah! Weren't you sick
We're
this
probably-
day?
AEW's like famous Texas wrestling fan. It's Tommy. He looks healthy and happy.
yeah. We'll probably next week be posting maybe some minor clips, some little clips onto the YouTube, maybe a compilation of like little things we record of our time there at Dynamite. I'll probably have some on the Countdown to the Geekcast Facebook stories as well. Be posting some stuff as well. Won't have a show next week because we're going to this, but the following week we'll kind of get together and just kind of recap how it was for us being at the show, how it was for Dynamite and Rampage. You know, I don't want to spoil anything that's going to happen on Rampage by us doing a show before Rampage even airs, right? So I think it'd be cool for us to kind of
That's not a spoiler. That's a prediction. That's all
that would be, so not next week, but the following week we'll do another show and just talk about what we saw, how the atmosphere was, maybe some things that happened that don't make it to air.
Maybe our voice will be back by then.
Yeah, right. Exactly. We're gonna need that time to recover. So.
I can't wait to go if I have to go to HEB that weekend and like yes.
Yeah.
What was the name on the order? That's why you're right here.
They're like,
Cedar
Tommy,
trunk.
man, it's so young and he's already got a smoker's lung. What the hell's going on? So, yeah.
Oh, dude, I'm like one of the oldest people who works over there. I feel like dude, I hate it. It was like oh man, I just turned 25. I was like, what the? I was like, fuck all of you.
Just go along with it. Yeah, me too.
I don't want to hear it, dude. I just turned 41 on Monday, so you can kiss my ass. All right, with that, we'll get into our 1-minute warning segment.
Okay.
What?
I was wanting to see if this was going to happen. Before we do that,
What?
I want to point out the fact
Do we
that
forget
it is WrestleMania season. 2 days ago, they promoted Steve Austin will be back at
Forgot to mention
WrestleMania, and
that. Oh,
we
yeah.
don't
Yes.
give a crap.
Okay.
And it's not that big of a deal.
I feel horrible because I meant to say on the top of the show, but let me just say it real quick right now. That is the only match I fucking care about for WrestleMania.
And I heard it. I don't know if it's going to be a match. That's
Yeah,
what I heard.
right.
I haven't even heard it's going to be.
Whatever it is, I don't want to care about.
Here's
Yeah.
what I told Terry. I talked to him about this when that video aired. I only care about that and Edge versus AJ. Neither one of those things is enough to get me to pay to go to WrestleMania.
Yeah. I don't even know what night that is. I mean, okay, you mentioned Edge and AJ. Yeah, I'll definitely want to see that. Probably want to see Becky and Bianca Belair too, the way that's been promoted. But when it comes to part-timers or legends coming back for a match, this is what I'm looking forward to. I don't need to see Goldberg challenging for a title. I don't need to see Brock barely showing up randomly here and there. This is what I want to see, So
You want a hotter sports opinion?
What's up?
I'm not. I wish you would have stayed.
Steve Austin?
I mean, even if it's not a match, yeah.
well,
I don't. I love Steve Austin.
I get what he's saying though.
But
here's the only reason I say it too is because we didn't know that was his last match.
no.
We didn't. And I feel like for the kind of career that he had, he needs that one final send-off. The fans that know that this is it. Like, this is, the last thing. And if this is the one match he gets, by all means, this is the right guy to do it. I don't expect Steve Austin to win this one, and that's okay. Like if this is the last match of his career, you know.
I totally expect him if it's a match to win it. He's not putting over anybody with what you just said. That he's going out in Texas.
Do you think he'd go out in Texas? His last match
Kevin
with him?
Owens would not let him get the pin. Like,
You know what? That's a good.
I
know he's supposed to be the heel.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure Kevin Owens is like, old man, I will frog splash you again if you think I'm going to let pin Austin in Texas for his last thing. No, this isn't. This is Kevin Owens not going to let it be. Angle and what's his name, Baron Corbin. He would not allow that. No.
Well, either way, that I'm looking forward to it. If we know for sure this is it for Steve Austin, at least we finally know. You know, that match years ago against The Rock. I mean, I was sad he lost. I didn't know that was going to be it for his career. You know.
Well, he didn't either, to be fair. But...
Yeah. Well, he revealed later in the podcast he knew that was it. And that's why The Rock told him something like in the match, you know, just the two of them, like they knew that was it for him, but he didn't make a big deal about it. And I feel
wasn't the next night he supposed to job to Lesnar and the King of the Ring, and that's when he left? Wasn't that the whole thing?
That was 2002.
No, that was prior to that. I'm talking about the WrestleMania in Seattle where he wrestled Rock, and that was his next match. Yeah,
that was 1903 though. Yeah, that was 1903.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about, but I think that was like earlier. The year of time was mixed up too. Yeah.
Yeah. What he's talking about was 2002. Rock and Austin match didn't happen until 2003. The WrestleMania the following year, because in 2002 he wrestled Scott Hall at WrestleMania 18.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That was the one and the Hogan and Rock one.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Well, all right. God, I can't believe I forgot about that. But there's so much going on, right? How great was it? 1 minute warning time. Mike, do you have something for us?
And in fact, it kind of connects into all this.
Okay. Whenever you're ready. Set. Go.
Okay. I know we spend a lot of time bashing WWE on here, but after watching Revolution and Dynamite, seeing William Regal come out, what I've decided is I want more wrestling than entertainment in my wrestling. Okay? And I've mentioned this before that what I've loved about AEW is Bryan Danielson comes out and gets to be the old Bryan Danielson that he couldn't be in WWE. CM Punk comes out and gets to be the CM Punk that he wasn't in WWE. Even Regal coming out from Revolution and Dynamite tonight gets to kind of be this character he never really got to be. He got to be a little bit in WCW, not as much in his WWE time. And a lot of it is because they have to better balance the entertainment in WWE. And I get that. They're World Wrestling Entertainment. That's what they are. I'm at a point right now, that's not what I want as much. Again, we were talking about WrestleMania. I'm just not that excited. It's not a disrespect to any of the wrestlers, because I love so many of the wrestlers. I do. If Bayley comes back, for instance, I'm going to be jacked for that. But overall, you know, I know they've done it in a lot of WrestleManias, but I don't care about Knoxville being there. I don't care about Logan Paul being there. I'm just kind of I'm enjoying the wrestling that AEW provides. I'm enjoying their storytelling, and it feels worth it to watch their show on a weekly basis. If you watch WWE for the past year, WrestleMania doesn't mean anything because they've just decided to throw these things. I mean, you're laughing, but I'm not wrong.
No, that's why I'm laughing. That's why I'm laughing, because you're not wrong. I couldn't agree more.
So I don't mean this as any disrespect to all the talent in WWE, because I love so many of them, but I want more wrestling right now, and WWE has done too many things also to make me jaded towards them. Anyways, but I just enjoy AEW allowing these guys to kind of be their old selves or be selves that they haven't been able to be. And right now it's more entertaining for me. All right. Ironically enough.
Good shit. Tommy, you got anything this week? All right, whenever you're ready, go for it.
Okay, well, the New Japan Cup 2022 is in full swing. Okada is advancing. He's got Tai Chi up next.
Duh.
I can't believe I'm saying that.
Yeah.
But this will interest Mike. Jeff Cobb has Satoshi Kojima in his next round matchup, and I'm very much looking forward to that. That's just two heavy hitters, so that's gonna be cool. So yeah, it's gonna be great. But also New Japan related. I don't know if you guys heard, but Minoru Suzuki will be at VIP Wrestling in Dallas.
Urban.
Do you know who he's wrestling?
No.
Jared Brown.
Oh,
Nice.
Jared Brown announced it on his Facebook the other day that he's getting Minoru Suzuki.
Good for him.
fucking dream match. Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Jesus.
That's a dream match for us, and I know it is for him too.
Oh yeah.
I'm so happy for him. I have been messaging some of the people who work at VIP. I said, because the tickets weren't on sale last night. I said, when are they going on sale? So I think they're going on sale this week. I fully plan on being there, and I laugh because I am more excited for that one match on an indie show at midnight than I am for literally all of WrestleMania. How did we get here? WrestleCon is going to be there, and Nia Jax is going to be there, so above midnight.
I'll
figure
Wow. Insane.
Can I add 5 more seconds in to kind of connect with Tommy's thing?
Sure.
Stupendous. Really? Stupendous. All right.
All right, cool. Mine is, look, I know there's been some talks. I mean, some people that booked like, man, this show is too long. Revolution's too long. I get that. I understand 4 hours is very difficult, especially on a Sunday, which I don't know why. If this was on a Saturday, I wouldn't mind it so much. But maybe it was because Impact had already said they were going to have a show that weekend, or who knows. I don't know what the issue is. But I don't mind the 4-hour pay-per-views so much from AEW because we don't get those every month. It's pretty awesome that the fact that we get this, 4 major ones a year. 5 if you count Fyter Fest. So the 4-hour thing, not such a major issue to me. Although I do think Saturday works out better. A lot of companies have been switching to that. So you could say it was loaded with matches here and there. Maybe there's a couple matches that you could have waited or put on like Dynamite or Rampage or something like that. But the show itself went pretty well. You know, it is 4 hours. I don't mind it so much because it's not as often. But I mean, that's just me expressing a personal opinion. I understand some people thought it was too long or too much going on, but hey, either way, the way I look at it, it was worth the $50 and $50 well spent. So, I just wish they were on Fight TV. Nothing against Bleacher Report, but I just like to be able to watch on Fight TV, right? So,
No, and I agree with you 100%.
yep. All right. So, as I mentioned previously, we are not going to be doing a live show next week. We're going to be at Dynamite and the Rampage filming as well next week on Wednesday. The following week, we will get together and talk a bit about our experience there, what it was like to be wrestling live again at post-pandemic, some of the behind-the-scenes stuff going on too as well, things that didn't make it. And then the fun week after that, we'll get into the WrestleMania talk as much as we want to, and kind of go from there. It's crazy. I'm kind of glad WWE didn't have a pay-per-view this month, because Fastlane would just, I hope it's done with that. So, but there's so much going on right now for us. I think it's pretty cool. So we're gonna enjoy our spring break next week and be at Dynamite. Look for us in the crowd. I don't know if we're gonna stand out at all or anything like that. But maybe when they show like a corner shot or something, who knows, right?
I mean, there's still a chance I'm going to bring a Marry Me Lita sign, even though she's in the other company. But it's kind of.
Well, I got to bring a sign. Well, AEW has a thing with signs about RPGs, and I got to bring one representing Suikoden. So because
Yes.
No, I am not at all kidding when I tell you I've been thinking about that since they announced they were coming to San Antonio. So matter of fact, I got to buy some poster boards either this week or next.
Matthew, the Botchamania guy, loves the video game. I don't know if you follow his stuff. But all the RPG and video game references at AEW shows.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, thank you everyone for joining us this week on the Countdown City WrestleCast. Again, we'll be back live in a couple of weeks to talk about our experience at AEW Dynamite, St. Patrick's Day Slam, and and we might post some clips or check our social media for any videos of our view there. Yep. So, I'm your host JC. Joining me, of course, is Tommy.
Thanks, guys.
We got Mike.
Thanks, guys. Be good to each other.
And as always, heels and baby faces, remember, pro wrestling is real.
People are fake.
We'll see ya in a couple weeks.
Booyah!